Good morning, dear students. Welcome to the online class. As you are aware of the situation our planet is facing due to COVID-19 breakdown, almost everything is stopped. But our school has taken an initiative to provide you an online classes so that you all can be in touch with the books and have some good time with your books. So today I will be teaching rational number. Before knowing rational number, I hope everyone knows what is natural number, whole number, integers, fractions. Now, natural number. It is a set of numbers which starts from 1 and goes up to infinity on the positive side. Whole number. It is a set of natural numbers and including 0, and including 0 is said to be whole numbers. Then we have integers. Integer. It is a set of numbers with whole number and the negative of the numbers are said to be integers. Now, if you see on board, you will be seeing some diagrams, one diagram in which natural number is in the middle, then second we are having whole numbers, then we are having z which represents integers and q which represents rational numbers. So in general, what I can say you now, that natural numbers is a subset of whole number. Whole number is a subset of integer. Integer is a subset of rational number. So all those numbers which are which can be written in the form a by b, where a comma b belongs to integer, are said to be rational number. And one more thing, that b should not be equal to 0. If b will be equal to 0, then what will be the situation? Like a upon 0 is infinity, that is undefined. A number can be anything, like minus 2 upon minus 5, then it is 2 upon 5. Minus plus 2 upon minus 7, this means it is again minus 2 by 7. If we write 0 upon 7, this is again 0. If we write 12 upon 7 or 17, then these all are in the form of a by b. A is an integer here, numerator is an integer, again denominator is another integer. That is, here we have negative integers, here we are having positive integers. So any number which can be expressed in the form a by b is said to be rational number, provided the denominator should not be equal to 0. If I say a is an integer and my denominator is equal to 1, that means the number is a itself. So this can be either a natural number, it can be either whole number, it can be either an integer. Anything is possible here. So any number where denominator is 1, definitely it will be a rational number. All the numbers which can be written in the form of fraction in such a way that their numbers are coming to an end, or after decimal the numbers are repeating, that is recurring decimals. So I have written that all terminating and recurring decimals are also called rational numbers. Example, 112 divided by 10, which is equal to 11.2. 75 by 100, if we convert into decimal form, then it will be 0.75. So all these numbers are coming to an end, that is terminating. 11.2, after 2 we don't have any other number except 0. Here after 0.75 we don't have any other number other than 0. We can put infinite number of zeros, that means it is what, but that will be useless to put. So if we want up to 2 decimal, we are having 0.75. Now second is, here we are having recurring numbers like 1 upon 3, which will be equal to 0.3333 up to infinity. But we can see the pattern that after decimal same number will be repeating n number of times. So this type of numbers are said to be recurring numbers, recurring decimal numbers. So to replace the other 3, which numbers are copying, which numbers are being followed, we can just erase those numbers and write one bar on that. In the same way, another example is like 5 by 9, which will be equal to 0.5555. It will go up to infinity. Now, it is useless to write 0.55 up to infinity. Instead of that, we can write 0.5 bar. This bar represents recurring number. So this decimal is a recurring decimal. There are few numbers which can be written in the decimal form. For an example, root 2, which is equal to 1.414237682 1 and so on. Now root 3, this will be equal to 1.7132596 and so on. Pi is equal to 3.141257. So these all numbers, these extra numbers that is written here are not having any pattern. There is no repetition of numbers. So these numbers are non-recurring, non-repeating, or you say non-terminating also. Non-terminating, this means that this number is not going to end. Terminating numbers. So these all numbers goes into a family called irrational number family. Irrational number family, which we will be seeing in our next class, that is class 9. In our next class, in a higher class, next chapter, the very first chapter for 9th class will be irrational numbers. So here we are not supposed to study this one. We have to primarily focus on this rational number. So I have already told you what is a rational number. It is a numbers which can be written in the form a by b, where a and b belongs to integer and b is not equal to 0. And the numbers like natural number, whole numbers, integers, all these numbers are the subsets of rational numbers, which is represented by Q. In set builder form, or rule method, rational numbers are represented as Q equal to curly bracket a upon b, where a belongs to I, comma b belongs to I, and b is not equal to 0, Here integer, that I stands for what? I stands for integer. Same way we have Z also stands for integer, but Q here stands for rational number. Always you have to keep in mind that whenever you have to represent rational number, you must always represent with capital Q. You must always represent with capital Q. This is for rational number. Dear students, as I have been telling you from last 5-6 minutes, that rational number is what? It is in the form of a by b, where a and b belongs to integer and b should not be equal to 0. Now, if I say, can I write 2 by 5? Can I write 7 by 17, 2 by 4, 9 by 18? All these numbers I wrote, okay. Now, is there any doubt to any of our students that these all are rational numbers or fractions? Obviously, this is a fraction. This all set of numbers, whichever I wrote in the form a by b, it is here rational number as well as fraction. But if you remember, if you recall in class 7 what I have discussed for fraction, a fraction is said to be a number in the form a by b, where a comma b belongs to integer, but b should not be equal to 1. B should not be equal to 0 also. But here in rational number, this one definition, b is not equal to 1, is removed. So the basic difference between fraction and rational number is that both can be written in the form of a by b. Well and good. A and b both are integers. Okay. But here the denominator should not be equal to 1 in case of fraction. But in case of rational numbers, if denominator is equal to 1, then there is no problem. If I say 2 by 1, 2 by 1 is what? It is a rational number. Can I say it is a fraction? Then I will say that all integers, all whole numbers, all natural numbers, all are what? All are equal to fraction, which is incorrect to say. Now, there will be certain terms which I will be discussing right now. But before that, I will tell you the standard form of rational number. A rational number is said to be in its standard form when the numbers written is not simplified further. For an example, 5 upon 7. I cannot cancel out the numerator and denominator as there is no common factor, as we do not have any common factor except 1. No common factor except 1. Now, if I write 4 by 2, 4 by 2 means what? 2 2s are 4, 2 1s are 2. So, this can be cancelled out, and then now this number is a rational number. This number was also a rational number, but this is in standard form. This is in standard form, and this is in non-standard form. Like I write 6 upon, like I will write 6 upon 18. This means 1 upon 3. So this number plus this number, both are what? Both are rational numbers. But when we talk about standard form, then this will be called as standard form, while this will be non-standard form. Non-standard form, and this is standard form. NSF, non-standard form. This is in standard form. So we should always try to represent a number in its standard form. If you remember in class 7th that fractions were always written in its simplest form. We should always write the fractions in simplest form. Likewise, here also we should write the standard forms of any of the rational numbers if it is possible. If it is not possible, obviously it will be in its standard form. Here the common factor, we cannot cancel out the numerator and denominator by any number except 1. So the common factor becomes equal to 1. Now I hope all of you are clear about rational numbers and the various ways which it should be written. Like in the standard form, if we write, it is better. If we do not write it in its standard form, then it is not okay. It is not good to represent any number in its non-standard form. Always you should try to write the numbers in its standard form. Here now I will be teaching you how to add two rational numbers. Let us take an example, 7 by 5, and the other number is 12 by 9. Now to add these two numbers, you can easily think that this is just a fraction. This is in its standard form, this is in its non-standard form, or whatever it is. Now no need to worry about this number whether it is in standard form or non-standard form. We will simply add these two numbers as we are supposed to do, as we have been doing. Like 5 and 9, the LCM of 5 and 9 will be equal to 45. Now 45 means 7 into 7 plus 7 into 9, and then plus 5 into 12 will come. Okay, 9 5s are 45, 5 into 12. So the result will be 9 7s are 63 plus 60 by 45. Now this will be equal to 11 2, 3, sorry, 1, 2, 3 upon 45. Now, can I replace this? Can I simplify this? So, it will be like 3 into 15 and this will be equal to 3, 41s are. So, the answer will be 41 upon 15. The answer will be 1 upon 15. If you leave this number as 1, 2, 3 upon 45, then also you will get some marks. But if you write in this standard form, then this is the best answer that you can give and the best marks that here you can get. Now, one more thing I will make you clear, that sometimes most of the students have problem in taking LCM and they multiply, they forget. Like I have also done one mistake here while writing, that I wrote 7 two times, which is wrong, but it should be 9 here. Now, the shortcut method, which you may feel like it is very lengthy, but it is actually very beneficial when you have big numbers in the numerator and it is very difficult to take the LCM. So if you observe clearly, 7 by 5 plus 12 by 9, what has been done actually? 9 into 5 is 45. 9 into 5, we are writing here 45. Now 7 into 9 is going. So 7 multiplied 9 plus 5 multiplied with 12. This is 60. This is what I have done. So whenever we are having denominators which are different in numbers, different numbers like 5, 9, 12, 99, anything, we can just multiply and write at in the denominator, and then we can cross multiply and substitute, and then with this we will get the answer very easily. We need not find out the LCM. In some of the cases in competitive exam, you will see there will be so many numbers, so it will be very difficult to again and again take out the LCM and then do. So in shortcut method with two numbers or two fractions, we can easily do this. This right now you may feel like why to multiply, this is lengthy method, but in higher classes, in some competitive exams, you will see this all small techniques will help you to crack the exam. Now second, if the denominators are different, I told you we can add like this. If the denominators are same, then what we will do, like if I write 7 by 9 plus 8 by 9, this will be equal to, so denominators are same, so no need of taking any LCM. We can simply write the same denominator and the numerator we will write here, and then we will add, that is 15 by 9. This is rational number, but it is not in standard form. So what will be its standard form? 3 5s are 15, 3 3s are 9. So this is our correct answer. This is also our answer, but we should not write any number in its non-standard form. Always practice to give your answers in standard form, in its simplest form. Now we will discuss properties of addition on rational number. So the very first properties of addition, if we are talking properties of addition of rational number. First property is closure property. Closure property, which means if I am having two rational number, let us suppose q1, the other rational number q2, then this will always be equal to one rational number q, let me take it as q3. So what do you understand? Whenever two rational numbers are there, when we will add these two rational, the resultant, the answer will also be in the form of a rational number. Suppose I am having 1 by 3 plus 2 by 7. These two are rational numbers. When I will add, what we are going to get? 7 3s are 21 LCM, 7 into 1 7 plus 3 2s are 6, which means 7 plus 6 13, 13 by 21. So this is what? This is also a rational number. So this is the meaning of closure property. If we add two rational numbers or more than two rational numbers, then the result will always be a rational number. Now second property is associative property, or before that we can go for commutative property. COMMUTATIV property, which means that if I am having a rational number q1 and the other rational number q2, I can add these two rational number as q1 plus q2, or I can do q2 plus q1. Same rational numbers, addition is there, so either I write first rational number as in first place, second rational number in the second, or vice versa, second rational number in first place and first rational number in the second place. Let us take again one example, like 2 by 5 and 5 by 7. If I take, so what will be its result? 7 2s are 14 plus 25 by 35, that means 29, 39, 39 by 35. Okay, 7 5s are 35, 7 2s are 14, 5 5s are 25, 25, 29, 39. So this is what? This is the rational number, that means q1 plus q2. If I write 5 by 7 plus 2 by 5, again I will be getting the same number. So this is called commutative property of rational number. Now third one is associative property. Associative associative property of a rational number. Rational number. Now if I have three or more rational numbers, but before that I will take only three rational numbers, like I'm having q1, the other rational number q2, the other rational number q3. If I want to add, I can add q1 plus q2 plus q3, or if I want, I can write q1 plus q2 plus q3. Now how I have associated the numbers, how I have made the grouping, how I have assigned them in their friends. Like if I consider they are in one friend circle, they are in one friend circle, q1 and q2 are together, q3 is left apart, left aside. Now here q1 is left aside, q2 and q3 has become friend. Like in our normal also routine, normal day life, we are having three or more friends. Sometimes we are not happy with one of our friends because of some or the other reason, so we just keep him aside and we go with the other friends or fellows, like q1 q2 together. Like here q1 is left aside, q2 is q3 with going with one another. So this type of addition is called associative property of any numbers. Now you can take an example of any number at your home and then try. So this is your homework right now, to try take any 2 3 rational numbers of different values and try to check whether this number, whether q1 plus q2 plus q3 is equal to q1 plus q2 plus q3. Check whether this is possible. This is possible in all the cases, or it represents only to a limited value. Either it will be same or it will be not equal. That is what is your homework right now. You can check and practice at your home. Now we will see existence of additive identity. Now if I have a number like 2 by 5 and then add 0 to it, then what we will get? We will get again 2 by 5. So 0 is what? It is a rational number, right? 2 by 5 is again a rational number. Let us take q1, this is q2. So 0 is also a rational number because it can be written in the form 0 by 1, which will be equal to 0. So here existence of additive identity means that any number which is added to 0, any number which is added to 0, the result will be the number itself. Like 2 by 5 plus 0 is always equal to 2 by 5. If I write 112 upon 119, this is a rational number. Again, if I add 0 to it, this is called 112 by 119. That means the result will be the number itself. So what is this 0 called here? 0 is actually called as additive identity. It is called additive identity of the given number. In the same way, if we have existence, do we have any additive inverse? Like if I say for each rational number there exists a number which when added to that number, the result will be equal to 0. For an example, if I write 7 by 5, it's another number which will make this number equal to 0 will be equal to minus 7 by 5. Then only my result will be equal to 0. So if I have a rational number and the negative of a rational number, when we add these two, obviously the result will be 0. Indirectly what we are doing, 7 by 5 plus into minus, that will be equal to minus 7 by 5. So 7 by 5 minus 7 by 5, two numbers are same and they are subtracted, so the result will be 0. So this number minus 7 by 5 is called additive inverse of a rational number. This 7 by 5 is called the additive inverse of a number. So in a definition form, if I say for every rational number a by b minus a by b is called additive inverse, of that particular rational number. So students, I have discussed the properties related to addition of rational number. With the help of these properties, I hope you all will be able to solve up to question number 7 of your textbook exercise 1A. So the very first question I wrote, in which it was given add the numbers like 2 by 5 and minus 3 by 5, which we have to add. That means 2 by 5 plus minus 3 by 5 we can write. Since we are having denominator that is same number 5, so I can I can directly write this 5, no need of taking out the LCM. Then 2 and plus into minus will become minus, plus into minus will become minus. 2 minus 3 will be equal to 1, and we know that the sign of bigger number will come. 3 is in terms of its magnitude. If in terms disregard of its sign, if I say 2 and 3 is a bigger number. So if it is a bigger number, larger number, the sign in front of this number is negative. So then definitely the answer will be in negative terms. So that is why the result came out to be minus 1 by 5. In the same way, we have other problems. You please go through it and try to solve. If you have any problem, you can just text me in my YouTube in the comment section so that I can clarify.